Charleston Riverdogs is back for another exciting baseball season. Today, I talk one-on-one with Dave Echols, the president and GM of the Charleston Riverdogs, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Dave Echols, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Hey, thanks, Q. I guess it's been made. Well, we do it more than once a year, but it's good to be back. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I know the last time I saw you was at the mayor's inauguration in January when it was extremely cold out there, kind of like what it is now. And yeah. I know since that time, obviously you have been busy as the president and general manager of the Charleston Riverdogs. In fact, your opening season is coming up this weekend. So besides that, Dave, what's new? What's now with the Charleston Riverdogs?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest news, and hopefully everybody knows it, but we're going for our fourth in a row starting tomorrow night. So that's really big news for Charleston. Historically, our baseball teams have been very competitive, but we have not been really winning championships. And we've been lucky enough these last 3 years with a great roster to win 3 in a row. So now we're going for number 4, and we'll have a sellout crowd tomorrow night to start the season. It'll be a lot of fun.
And Dave, how were you all able to market this year's season with this particular roster?
Well, that's a unique thing about the different types of sports in the Charleston market, because the minor league baseball team, we get a new roster every year, and I don't decide the roster. The major league partner, in our case, the Tampa Bay Rays, they decide who comes to the Riverdogs as our roster. They decide when the players are promoted or released, or they handle all player personnel. So my job and the job of the staff is to manage the ballpark and the brand. And Tampa Bay handles all the players and all the rosters. So we're low A. We're the youngest in their farm system, so that means we get a new team pretty much every year. And there might be a few holdovers from year to year, the younger players or the players that got to us late in the season. But it's a new roster every year, so you never know what you're going to get until you open up that Christmas present every opening day. And we've been lucky the last 3 years to have a really competitive team, so hopefully we'll do it again. And
so when you think about 2024 this year, Dave, how many holdovers do you all have for this season?
Yeah, it's a good question, because strangely enough, usually my automatic answer is, there's 2 or 3 guys that'll be back, and that's usually what it is. But this time it looks like we've got 10 players back, and again, that's a little misleading, because it's 10 players that again maybe came to us later in the season last year, or that were on our roster that were injured, and so now they're healthy. So it's not our starters from last year, but they are players that contributed and were on the roster when we won the championship. So hopefully that those guys are healthy and a year older and ready to go.
And I hate to keep asking that, but how many of those players are actually healthy currently?
No, from what I've seen so far, and again, they just got here Monday. They're going through some practicing right now, but it looks like our roster is healthy right now. So again, we have a couple more practices before the season starts. So hopefully nothing in that area of the business happens. But you never know as somebody that's trying to be out there and active. So you never know if an injury might occur. But right now we're ready to start the season.
And this might be a redundant question, but how then do you get those players in an environment where they can actually excel on the field, work on what they need to work on, and actually get them to that next level?
Yeah, that's a great question. But again, Tampa handles all of that, and they handle that in the sense of, as a fan, you see the players from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock playing the game, and then you go home. Well, they're still watching video of the game after the game. They come in the next morning watching video, and then they're practicing on the field. They're weightlifting. They're doing specific targeted training to enhance areas that they need improvement on, and then they rest, and then they get ready to play a game. So it's not they show up at 5 o'clock and play a game and then go home until 5 o'clock. They're practicing physically, mentally, as much as they can throughout the days leading up to the game. So it's not an easy job. That's for sure.
Yeah. And going over to the field, actually, at the Joseph P. Riley Stadium, I know you all maintain that significantly and successfully every year. So what can the fans expect this year?
Yeah, thanks. I think maybe the biggest aspect that we're wanting to make sure everybody knows about is, in order to open up from COVID in 21, we had to scale a lot of our operation back. you're trying to limit the interaction with fans. You're trying to keep lines short. And so to do all that, we revamped our food and beverage to be real simple and quick transactions and just real simple hot dog and peanut kind of options when you're at the concession stands. And we had to do that for the 21 and 22. We tweaked it a little bit in 23, but when we were looking at the years a few years ago, we thought maybe 2024 would be the year we're fully out of COVID impact. And so we've gone back with our food and beverage team to really bring back some creative food items in the ballpark. And we're going to launch those tomorrow. We did a little media teaser about a week or so ago. And I think, again, it's not something fans are going to go, that's really weird. You're going to look at our items and say, I didn't think you'd have that at the ballpark, but that looks good. And so that's what our food and beverage team really prides itself on, is providing quality food items, but at the same time, there's some unique items that we think fans will enjoy. We're not trying to put a hamburger patty between two donuts. That's not our thing. But we are trying to have unique items that people aren't expecting when they come to the ballpark. But you'll try it once and you'll like it enough to want to try it when you come back. That's our goal. And I think Josh Shea and his staff have done a great job getting us ready for the season. And so I think as you walk the ballpark, you'll see a few new food locations and options, and then the menus at each location have been tweaked to hopefully make it more enjoyable for the fans.
And how many new locations have you added?
I'd say there's probably, the way that we're confined with the ballpark, there's probably only 2 or 3 new locations that are being added, but it's more so the continuing to refine, tweak, and surprise on the menus when you're walking around the ballpark. And Josh does a fantastic job with that. The Segler Club itself continues to be used throughout the off season, and then continues to be the most upscale place to watch a ball game in South Carolina. So it's really nice. Josh continues to improve the menu up there, and it's just a great experience and A to Z.
Oh, and you talk about those surprises, Dave. So which one of those menu items, without giving it out, have actually surprised you the most?
Well, I'll keep it general, but Josh came to me and said, there's a huge trend right now to put whether it's white cheese or cheddar cheese powder on a lot of things. And so he's got a location that we're selling that we're putting that on a lot of items. So we'll see if he's right with that one.
Yeah, and obviously, Dave, as you know, besides the opening season of the Riverdogs, there's the big weekend this weekend with Flowertown and the Credit One Charleston Open, and of course the Cooper River Bridge Run. So how does the Riverdogs help out with those and help promote those events while getting people to come to your event?
Yeah, well, no matter how big Charleston continues to grow and become, it's still a small town, and so we're friends with all those events and festivals and operators and ball games and sporting options. So we try to help any way we can. They try to help us. There's a lot of reciprocal give and take there, and certainly the way Charleston's growing, there's enough to go around. There's going to be 30, 40,000 people running in the bridge run. Well, that's Saturday morning. We're Saturday night. So we'll be all right. The tennis tournament, that'll be in maybe the finals or semifinals Saturday night. That's on Daniel Island, so we're on the other end of town. So there's plenty of opportunity to commingle and make sure everybody chooses which interest they have and both be successful. And we've shown that over the last 10, 15, 20 years that everybody can coexist. So it's a lot of fun. And like I said, we're really close to selling out Friday, and Saturday we're doing the replica ring giveaways. That date is, so tickets are flying off for that. And the first Sunday of the season, where kids get to run the bases after the game. Ticket sales are going great even with everything going on.
Yeah, that's really, really amazing. Looking forward to this busy weekend.
That's right.
Charleston Riverdogs President and General Manager Dave Echols, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close.
Thanks, Quinn. I appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.